What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about a certain topic that I think some people kind of think about a lot, especially when purchasing a new phone. And that topic is, does the design of a phone entice you to purchase a new phone? Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is we have a lot of companies similar to Apple, and I guess Apple's a good reason because they've kind of kept the same design for the past several years. Is does it change in terms of the outer skeleton of the phone, make you want to buy a phone, right? A lot of the time, phones typically are just software changes or internal changes within, right? That could either be the camera changes internally. There's new RAM, like more RAM. There's a different chip that's inside a better processor, right? Maybe better battery. But I feel like a lot of the time there are a lot of phones that have a different type of skeleton that a lot of people get really attracted to. We're seeing this with the S23 Ultra, the Flip 5, the Motorola Flip, the Fold 4, the Pixel Folds, right? A lot of different designs in terms of skeleton. Even the Boring phone, right? Or maybe I'm saying that wrong. I have to research that. But there are a lot of different designs in terms of the skeleton, the outside of a phone, and I think a lot of people really want to see differences in terms of that creatability. When people go out and buy a phone, I feel like when you go to a store, right, and when you look at a phone, you want to see, like, your first thing that you see is the outside of the phone. You don't see the screen, you don't see the inside of the phone, you see the outside, the feeling that you get when you hold the phone, right? That is such a big part of it. When you turn the phone to its back, you're able to see what the camera looks like outside, right? Just the skeleton of the phone. And I feel like that's such a big thing and such an important thing for companies, especially when they're designing a phone and try to attract more customers. Now, I feel like I've made a lot of videos talking negatively about Apple, but when it comes to the design, the outside of the phone, nothing has really changed. And I just think as consumers, as more time goes on, you want to see change. I don't think anyone wants to look back at a phone from like the early 2000s and say, we want that back, right? Like maybe there's a really small amount of a community that would want that, but the majority of people want a better device. They want something that's different. I feel like that's typically the wave of how things go. People will always say, don't change something if it's not broken. And I understand where you're coming from, but I also think that as a consumer, if you're going to be, and as a company, if you're going to be making new devices every single year, or just honestly every like 2 years, you should change the design, right? Be innovative, change things. And I understand bigger screen sizes, but then it's like, how big do we go? How thin can you make a phone? What can you do to improve the cameras? How differently can you make the design of a phone? I think that argument is not only just shown when it comes to Samsung devices and Android devices because of all the different looks that they have. And I think that's not only just incredibly creative, but that makes consumers want to buy it. I went into T-Mobile, and I hate using their name because I don't like T-Mobile at all. But I went to T-Mobile, and when you look at the different devices that they have, right, the folds, right, I'm doing that motion, it's like that is such an attractive thing to think about before you buy a phone, right? That feeling of being able to fold your phone, that feeling of being able to flip your phone, that feeling that you have a stylus that you can also attach, right? Little things that change the design. I feel like there's so many times where you pull out your phone, let's say you're at a table with a bunch of people at dinner, everyone has an iPhone, but then one person has the Fold 4. That's going to attract people's eyes, and I think that's just not only a cool conversation starter about what type of device that is, but it's that creativity, like it's that innovativeness that you can talk about and the change in design, right? Everyone knows what the Apple design looks like. I feel like if you close your eyes right now, you can picture those three cameras, just that typical body, right? Like the two speakers on the bottom, the buttons, right? It's like everyone knows what it's like. Everyone knows. And I feel like as a consumer, Apple has made it very clear with what the device is, and they want people to understand what that is. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I think as someone who is actively looking at new technology, at what the world is making, what other companies are doing, I think that is a major thing that's going on. I also think that as customers in terms of the United States, I think we're very accustomed to Apple, and I think we don't often see what else the world is currently working on. I know that Apple obviously has their offices in the United States, but then has a lot of their changes done on other parts of the world. But I do think a lot of companies that are in a different part of the world are being a lot more innovative currently right now. And it's just great to see. So, as a consumer, my question to you guys is, when you see a phone and you see the outside skeleton, does that attract you as a customer? I'm just curious because I think, honestly, for me, it's a big part of it. I think it is. I don't think every average consumer is thinking about the amount of RAM, the amount of memory, the new chip that's inside, right? I think people think about how big the display is, how heavy the phone is, the type of cameras that look like on the outside, right? Like there's so many different changes. Does the fold like flip? Does it fold? All those different things. Those are what consumers, I think, look at before they purchase a phone. But the people that I think really think about a device is when they really look at the specs and what the phone is fully capable of doing internally. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think that is a really important part, and do you think more companies need to have that innovativeness with the skeleton of the phone, or the body of the phone? So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.